got good internet. I'm good there.
Oh,
here we go.
There we go.
Okay, we're live. Deb, you ready?
Live. Yay, we're live.
Alyssa,
Yes, I'm ready.
You're good, right,
Ready.
Alyssa? All right, and
All
I'm good.
good.
Here we go.
Return bubbles, your flight
There we
attendants
go.
who are fully upright in locked position. Oh, wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat and buckle up. Seat backs and tray tables in their full upright position. It's another episode of Skip Happens. A view from 30,000 feet. From the first music lesson to the first paid gig to signing the deal, it's the journey that is the life of an artist. Now, here's your captain and co-captain, a.k.a. your hosts, Skip Clark and Deb Lamphere.
There she is. Hi, Deb.
Good evening. How are you?
I am good. We got a great one for you tonight.
I'm excited. I
am
know
excited
that.
too, because we're in the Northeast, and there's a big show coming up in our area on Friday. It is Jake Owen. He's going to be on that outdoor stage at Kegs Canal Side, which is in Jordan, New York. I know people can watch this from all around the world, but that's where it is. And it's going to be a great show. We have the opening act with us here tonight. And I've been listening to the music on YouTube. I'm already in love with this girl. Her music is just like so good. I want y'all to say hi to our new friend, Alyssa Trahan, like Strahan, but Trahan.
Hello.
Yay.
Yes, exactly. Hi.
Welcome.
I was wondering if that was how you pronounce it, just because it's spelled almost the same without the S. That's all.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. Well, Alyssa, thanks for coming on tonight. We're going to have some fun. We're going to find out about you. We're going to find out what's going to be happening with you Friday night on that stage. And first of all, where are you right now?
So I'm actually in Rochester, New York. I'm in New York for a bunch of tour dates, and I'm actually in my childhood bedroom. This is the acoustic guitar I learned how to play on. It's my dad's.
No way.
And hence, like the string lights behind me in the blue wall. So I flew in from Nashville a few days ago. They lost my luggage, and they found it. So here I am.
I was going to ask you, because I did see a post of you by the luggage once they found it. Now, you flew Southwest.
I did. Yes.
Love Southwest.
Me too.
Nashville, Baltimore, Syracuse.
Yep.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah.
So
that's basically my same route. Yeah.
What? It's the only route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened? I mean, your luggage fell off the cart and was sitting on the tarmac, or what happened?
So what happened is they had to change the flight path last minute, and somebody didn't take the bag off the flight that they were supposed to. And then it was on a flight back to Rochester, and that flight got canceled. So it kind of ended up in like bag limbo, I guess. I had to call like 4 different airports to locate it. And then when I finally got the call that it was in Rochester, I was like, I freaked out. I was like, I thought it was gone. I had music equipment in there, and I was like, it's gone. That's it. I'm never going to see it again. But I have it again. So
that is the worst feeling, though, because just, like,
I had to go to Walmart and find a show outfit because I had nothing with me. And I was like, well, I can't wear sweatpants to my show.
Yeah, you just did a show over the weekend in Utica.
Yeah,
so you had to go to Walmart and find an outfit to wear at that show.
Yes. Wow.
Wow.
I was mad dashing through Walmart to get something before they closed. I think people thought I was crazy because I was just running around the store trying to find something in my size. And luckily I found stuff. But with my luck, I bought shorts and a tank top to wear, and it was 50 degrees and raining. So
oh my God.
I didn't think that through.
Yeah, it was not good weather around here this past weekend. We were all miserable and cranky. Oh my. So there's a question I've always wanted to ask to an artist. When you are on stage and you are dressed either, for the weather, if you're too hot or too cold, I mean, you just really have to suck it up, right? I mean, and you all just pull it off very well, but I can't imagine what you're going through on the inside.
I feel like a lot of it is just the adrenaline. You get on stage, the adrenaline's pumping, that warms you up a bit. And I like to move around on stage a lot. So I'm like jumping up and down and flipping my hair and doing even more than usual to try to stay warm.
I was going to say doing more.
So it's adrenaline, and you kind of just got to suck it up, like you said.
I would think that when you're on stage and it's cold like it was, but you're moving around, that's the last thing on your mind is the temperature. You just want to give a good show. So you don't think about it. You may not even feel it. But the minute you stop and say, thank you, everybody, and you walk off that stage, then it's like, oh, crap, it's cold.
Give me a heated blanket.
Doing jumping jacks next to the stage, backstage, before they announced me. I was like trying to stay warm, and it was, during the songs it was okay, but right before and right after, it was like, whew, we need to get in the car and blast the heat, because I was shivering. It was cold.
So where do you live in Nashville? Are you right downtown?
So I live like 10 minutes outside of downtown, just because downtown is pretty insane. But I've been living in Nashville since 2016, and I love it there. I've just always felt like I belong there. The first time I stepped foot in the city, I just had this like overwhelming feeling of I need to be here, and it's just always been that place for me. It's like, how Disney World is to a kid, Nashville is to me.
I love it. You went right from Rochester to Nashville.
I did, yeah. My dad took me on some like business trips, as we like to call them. We went on a family vacation one year, and that kind of started the whole thing. But I asked him to take me to Nashville to meet people and write with people, and we did that for a few years. And then in 2016, I was finally like, all right, bye guys. And I moved to Nashville, and been there ever since. And I just love it there so much.
It is a great place for your generation, that's for sure. So
it is Music City, that is for sure.
There's no doubt.
Which I just love. I always felt like, the music geek of just everyone I knew. And when I went to Nashville, I just felt like I belonged and I wasn't weird anymore, Right.
No, I can relate. It's Nashville it's not just country, it's all different genres. It's anything and everything for anybody.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
And like Deb said, your generation and hitting Nashville, it's the place to be.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. I love it.
Exactly.
So downtown's crazy now. So do you hang out down there a lot? Are you performing down there a lot? What's your...
So I used to play downtown quite a bit, multiple times a week. I did the whole Broadway thing and paid my dues, did that whole thing. I don't do that as much anymore. I am more focused on recording, because I have my own recording studio set up, and writing with people. And I'll go down there sometimes if I have a show or if I want to see a friend's show. But other than that, it's kind of a tourist destination now, which is totally fine. Nothing wrong with it. It's a great place to go do the whole Broadway thing and the honky tonks and that whole thing. It's super fun. But I'm honestly usually writing or recording or playing my own show. So I don't really go down there as much as I used to. And parking is quite expensive down there now.
Oh yeah, we found out. Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of shocking.
So what kind of memories? You're sitting there in your childhood bedroom. You grew up in that room. You played that guitar that's behind you. When you go back home and you get to sleep in that room again, what kind of memories do you get?
It's a lot of things. I mean, you can't see it in the frame, but I have this big calendar up on my wall, and it's a calendar from one of the first times I went to Nashville. Wow. And I like write out like what we planned, and it kind of overwhelms me sometimes looking at how far I've come, because I feel like it's so easy, not just in the music industry, but just in life, to kind of get down on yourself and feel like, oh, I should be further ahead, I should be doing more. But whenever I see stuff like that, I just think like, wow, little like 16-year-old me would just be so stoked that we moved to Nashville, that we're doing what we're doing. And it's always just fun too to see, what made me, seeing the guitar I learned on, my dad's acoustic guitar, and seeing all my CDs. I have a big CD cabinet of everything I grew up on, and it's a lot, it was my whole life before I moved to Nashville. So it's definitely like a lot of nostalgia, a lot of like, I really have nothing but good memories here. There's nothing bad. I'm really lucky and blessed to say that, but it's always kind of interesting. I walk in my childhood bedroom and I'm like, whew, here we are. Here we are.
Here we are.
So you have the guitar behind you that you learned how to play. So do you come from a musical family, if that was your dad's guitar?
Yeah. So my dad was in a band before I was born. And he kind of settled down when, he had a family and retired. And he always says that I took him out of retirement because I asked him to be in my band when I'm in New York and play guitar for me. So he's actually playing with me on Friday.
Awesome.
And it's super fun. And my mom is also musical. And, I'd hear my dad and my brother playing guitar around the house all the time as a kid. My family on my dad's side plays music in church, and on my mom's side, my grandmother, she played piano and organ, and I actually inherited her organ. It's sitting in my studio in Nashville. So that's very special to me too. So yeah, music is definitely just in my blood. It's just part of who I am.
So your dad taught you the guitar. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, and when I was about 11.
I think I read that you play over 12 instruments. Is that correct?
Do.
Oh my God. Well, first, can you tell us what you're playing? And then secondly, can you give us a little summary of how you learned all those instruments and you're so young and talented?
Oh, thank you. So I play guitar, piano, mandolin, ukulele, silver flute, Irish flute, piccolo, penny whistle. I played alto saxophone in high school. I play a little bit of bass. I play some harmonica. And let's see what I'm missing. Oh, I also play a little bit of dobro. I'd like to be better at it, but I do play it.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm always wanting to learn more. I really want to learn like real banjo. And I really want to learn fiddle as well. Those are kind of the two that I really want to learn. Yeah.
Those are two of my favorites.
Yeah, they're so recognizable. I'd love them. But I learned them all in different ways. I mean, I learned piano. I learned by ear because we had a piano set up in our living room. So I would just kind of start tinkering on it. And then let's see, I learned guitar because I had kind of written songs in my head and in little journals as a kid, ever since I can remember. And when I discovered that I was writing songs and it wasn't something that all kids just did, I learned that all these songwriters played guitar. And my dad played guitar. So I was like, hey, Dad, can you teach me guitar? And he taught me guitar, and that kind of snowballed a lot of things. I learned a lot of the woodwind instruments like flute and saxophone in high school when we were allowed to, be in band and stuff. And honestly, the rest of them I learned because I started recording and producing my own music when I was pretty young, like 16. And when I was here in upstate New York, I would run into a situation where I wanted, say, mandolin on a track. But I didn't know any mandolin players when I was a teenager. So I, didn't think I could just reach out to someone and be like, hey, can you record mandolin on my track and come over and just, lay it down and we'll do it that way. So instead I would ask my dad to just go to a music store and get the cheapest instrument we could find. Like, I think we paid like $100 for a really cheap mandolin. And I would just teach myself what I wanted to learn. I'd look up YouTube tutorials and figure it out. And I did that with mandolin and ukulele, dobro, harmonica, and I kind of did it out of necessity. And it's funny because now in Nashville, it's like everyone plays. There's so many things. But, it was all kind of self-taught.
We learn all that from, that's something the internet has offered us is YouTube. I learned how to put a faucet in the bathroom by watching a YouTube video. So,
it's amazing.
But whether you want to learn how to play guitar, do some work around the house. If you got questions, just go to YouTube. Bring up
YouTube's amazing. I learned so much on there. Yeah.
Yep. So you went to Nashville when you were 16 the first time?
Let's see I think I was 15 when I went the first time.
So then you came back home and eventually you turned around and went back, and now you got your own place just outside of town and you're making music. I noticed on your YouTube channel, you've got over 100 videos.
I try to stay active. Yeah.
Now, what about pushing your music to radio? I think it's very radio worthy.
Thank you.
I've
done a bit with radio. It's kind of hard when you don't have a major label backing you to do that kind of thing. I've done quite a bit of events and stuff like we're doing now, and I have had my music on radio stations in the past. It's hard when, like I said, if you don't have the label. I've had a lot of radio stations tell me to my face, we love your stuff. When you're signed, call us and we'll play your stuff. And I'm like,
I hate that.
I get it. But it's kind of sad. But I get it. It's the business,
Well, what? If they heard something like this, I think they might be playing your music.
Well, thank you.
Hang on, we're gonna play just a little bit of this. It's called Promise. Here we go.
I must have let my guard down the minute that you showed up. When you're lost, you want to be found. When you're lonely, you want love. I guess the joke's on me. You made me believe.
Oops.
Treat me better. You said never lie. You went back for
See, music like that, it's catchy, it's good, it's fun, somewhat upbeat. I love it.
Thank you.
All right, now that's the latest. That just dropped. You put that out a couple of weeks ago, correct?
Yes, correct.
Tell us a little bit about that. It's Promises, but Promise. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is a song that I wrote a few months back in Nashville with one of my good friends and one of my most frequent co-writers. His name's Craig Wilson. And we wrote this song. I really wanted something upbeat and rockin' that I could open my shows to. And I could see myself like, walking out to the crowd too. So we had this idea. We started a demo for it. I started a little track and we wrote the song and I did a demo for it. And we both just loved it. And I knew I wanted it to be my next single. And so I actually produced this song entirely on my own. I played most of the instruments and we did track real drums down in Nashville, which is so fun because we got to go to the studio where Taylor Swift recorded her debut album.
Oh, wow.
And it was so cool because I found a picture of her standing in the same place that I was standing. And I was like, holy cow. It was wild. But we got the drums and then I recorded and produced it and I mixed it and put it out there. And I'm just so excited that it's finally out. I feel like artists kind of sit on music for a while and, we get to have it for months and months and then we finally get to release it. And it's always nerve-wracking but exciting at the same time.
You are so multi-talented.
I know. I'm like blown away by this stuff.
Well,
thank you so much.
You're mixing, first of all, you're playing all your own instruments on your song, which you never hear of that. I don't think we've talked to any artists, Skip, that have done that.
Right.
And then she's mixing her own music and you're, like you said, producing the whole thing, getting it out there. I mean, who does that? I mean, you're business 1001 here, not even business 101. You're at 1001. I absolutely love it, but it's a lot of work.
Thank you.
I mean,
it's
you're doing,
lot, yeah.
You must be 24/7. So
I don't really do anything else. This is my whole life, but it's just, I just love every part of the process. I love being involved in every single part. I have a really hard time letting go of anything when it comes to my music. So I want to be in the room. I want to be involved. I want to have a say. It's, this is me and
right.
Form, I guess. Like it's my song babies. Like I need to be in control of it. So yeah, exactly. I just love every part of the process.
Yeah. So you laid down all the tracks. You did all the instruments. You put them all in separate tracks. You mixed it all down. You produced it. I mean, are you using Pro Tools? What do you have?
Yeah, I use Pro Tools. Yeah.
Wow. Because Pro Tools can be a little tricky, but you've been doing it for a little bit. I've got Pro Tools here in the office, but
yeah, I always say that Pro Tools has a mind of its own.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's in a good mood and sometimes it's in a bad mood. You never know what you're going to get at the session that day. So
I like the way you put that.
I know exactly.
So, but did you go to college in Nashville or schooling for this background that you're?
So I actually did go to school for it. I went to Finger Lakes Community College for music recording. Yeah, and I was one of the only girls. Yeah, I was one of the only girls in the program, which was always kind of interesting. And my initial plan was to do a 2+2 and go to Belmont in Nashville. I actually applied and I got accepted for their songwriting program. But honestly, I got to a point that I felt like I was ready to just go to Nashville and just do it. And I honestly didn't want the student loans. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to go to Nashville. We're going to give it our best. We're just going to work our butt off. And that's what I did.
Well, it definitely came in handy. That's for sure. So sometimes you don't need to have a 4-year education, sometimes it's just that's what you have and that's what works for you. And we talked to a lot of artists that right out of high school, they're right down in Nashville. So they don't even
I wasn't ready for that. I think I wasn't I don't think I was confident enough yet in myself to do that. So I definitely needed those 2 years to kind of grow up a little bit and just kind of get ready for the big move because I had never really been outside of the small town I grew up in. So it was definitely a big thing. I was pretty nervous about it, but I'm just so glad I did.
See, I'm like going through some of these videos on YouTube here. It's like,
oh yeah, that's crazy.
What's that? No.
This video was actually on CMT, which is just crazy. I'm still not over it. Yeah.
Now, let's listen to it just for a second. And then I want to come back and talk about that a little bit.
Now there's no returning to the way it was before. Engine still burning, pedal to the floor. We didn't come this far just to come this far. Didn't keep it all together just to let it fall apart. Didn't get here just to turn around. Didn't climb this mountain just to let them take us down. Didn't save nothing for the ride back, 'cause we ain't ever going back.
Ain't ever going back.
Yeah.
Wow. So was that the only one that's hit CMT, or did you have others?
Yeah, so there's a little story behind how that happened. So
Okay.
I released this song on an album called Baby Blues and Stilettos, and the album went top 10 on iTunes, and it was incredible. And then I posted a little TikTok video because my team in Nashville was like, Alyssa, you got to post on TikTok. It's the new thing. And I was like, okay, fine. And I posted this little video as a joke, right? I was not serious about it. It was like this little video featuring that song, Ain't Ever Going Back. And it went viral and it blew up. And over a few videos, it got over 1 million views. And I was just like, what is happening? And then just the streams shot up and everyone was listening to this song. And then, you know, we were like, okay, we have to do a music video. Everyone's asking for it. So we got to kind of do the music video of my dreams a little bit. I worked with Castle Sound Co. down in Nashville. He's a good friend of mine. And he came up with this incredible storyline. I don't want to give it away for anyone that hasn't seen it, but it's kind of like Goodbye Earl vibes by the Chicks. Kind of like that. It's kind
Earl
of
had to die. That's all we know.
Yeah. It's edgy and it's cinematic and it's just intense. And we did the music video. And then my team sent it to CMT and they were like, we love it. Let's put it up there. And it was just crazy seeing my video on CMT next to like Carrie Underwood and all these people. So it kind of started from TikTok, which just like blows my mind because I thought it was like a little dancing app. And then all of a sudden this happened. So yeah.
See, that's another process that blows my mind. So to get on CMT, you have to submit your music video to them. Do they have a process they go through that they like as an unsigned artist, so to speak? Whatever.
So
once a month, you can send your videos in.
I don't know if they have like a time like that, but the way it happened for me is my publicist in Nashville knows the people over at CMT. So he just like shot them an email really quick and was like, hey, check out my artist's new video. And they were like, we love it. It's great. Let's put it up. And when they told me it was going to be up on CMT, I was like, are you sure? Like, did you hear them right? Like, are you sure?
Absolutely.
Is this happening? So yeah, it was insane. I'm still not over it. I don't think I ever will be.
That's awesome.
Your hometown, right there in Rochester, East Rochester. Do you get to play at home and do like a homecoming show or anything like that? And people go, oh, Alyssa, this is cool. You know,
I come back to upstate New York pretty often. I'd say every few months. And summer is always a really crazy time. Like we're right in the middle of a big New York run right now.
Yep.
And it's always so fun just to play. Like we play all around New York State, over like Pennsylvania and Ohio and like the borders and stuff. It kind of happens. I mean, I don't even like try to book New York shows at this point. I just have people reaching out to me and they're like, Alyssa, come to New York and play the show. And I'm like, well, yeah, if you want to have me, I'm going to play for you, especially after the last couple of years we've had. I just want to play every stage, every day, and just play everywhere. So yeah, I do get to come back and it's always so fun to see, you know, the hometown crowd is always the most special. The hometown stages are always the most special. I last year got to play my absolute dream venue, which is CMAC over in Canandaigua.
Right down the road.
Gorgeous.
Yep.
I cried. I kid you not. We get to sound check and I'm losing my mind, right? Just losing my mind the whole day, but we get to sound check and I hear my guitar over the speakers, just the whole system. And I was like, because it was so crazy. I used to just sit on that stage with a friend of mine when I was going to FLCC, which is on the same grounds. And we would just jam acoustically playing for the birds, just dreaming about playing on that stage to people. And then I got to do that. And I saw people singing along to the songs I wrote at CMAC. And I was like, I've peaked. This is my peak moment in life. It was just the best day. I cried a lot. It was
yeah, I don't blame you. And do you remember who you opened up for or? Do you remember
So
what
that
show?
was part of their, they did their first ever, was called a community concert.
Oh,
So it
okay.
was like their first ever time that they had local people,
Love
and
it.
they asked me to do it for the first one, and I was like, yes, like I will walk there from Nashville if I have to. Like I'm doing it.
You
Wow.
have to be there. Absolutely.
How exciting. How
Wait,
did
was that
you...
this year? I'm sorry. Was
No,
that
go
this
ahead.
year?
That
Or
was last summer.
Oh, okay. Okay. I had missed that. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, Skip.
So how did you get involved with Jake Owen? Because he's Friday night, he's at Kegs, and you're opening up for Jake. How did all
Yeah,
that come
I'm
down?
so excited for this.
It's gonna be
Funny
so
story, I
cool.
actually saw Jake Owen in Verizon one time down in Nashville, so it's kinda like a full circle moment. But, it happened because I had a fan at one of my shows come up to me afterwards, and they were like, "I want you to play at Kegs," and I was like, "Okay," and, they reached out to someone, and they gave me a contact info, and we reached out and connected, and it just kinda happened organically through someone that came to a show of mine, and
How
it was
it works.
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, and they were like, "Hey, do you wanna open for Jake Owen?" And I was like, "Yeah, duh." Like,
That's
I'm gonna be
great.
there.
On the outdoor
And
stage at Kegs, no less. So that's gonna be
yeah,
huge.
I'm so excited, and I hope it's warmer than it was this
Yes.
last weekend.
Oh, I think it's going to be. I think they're talking about middle 80s on Friday. So even
I
though
like
it's in the
that.
evening, it'll be a little bit cooler, but still, I think it's going to be a great night. And by the way, you've never been there, but the outdoor stage, it's outdoors, but it's also covered.
That's
So
amazing.
it
That's
is.
amazing.
Yes. It's an outdoor stage, but it's like a huge pavilion, and they've got the doors on the sides. I'm sure they'll have them open. They can put 2,000 people out there easy.
Oof.
So, and from what I understand, we're almost at that number now.
Oh,
So,
Mhm.
man, I'm so excited. I just cannot wait.
yeah, you talked about this, and Deb and I have heard this from other artists that when you get out there and you start playing, even though these songs have not been played on radio, the fans are singing the words back to you.
Mhm.
What does that tell you as an artist?
Right.
It's so interesting to me as an artist, and I've talked to so many artist friends about this that, we'll put our heart and souls into these songs and we'll send them to not just radio, but like music industry people
Mhm.
and labels and publishers. And they'll say no, or they'll say we don't like them, or they'll say this won't sell. But then the fans are streaming it and they're buying it and they're singing it back to you. And it's like exhibit A, it's like, it's
Hello.
just so amazing. That's honestly what I've always dreamed of is
Yeah.
seeing people sing my lyrics back to me. It's just like you can't put it into words, and I'm a writer for a living, so I should tell you
Oh,
something, but
isn't that funny? Yeah.
it's just magic. It's like there's just nothing like it. It like makes your heart beat fast, and
Mhm,
it's
mhm,
like
mhm.
bliss. I don't know. It's just incredible.
What could you tell us? What has been your biggest moment to date? Like a crowd, the biggest feeling, the greatest feeling to date for you. Like you must have been in some big arena somewhere. You've done something. You just went, holy crap! I can't believe I'm here. I know you
Oh,
mentioned
man.
CMAC before, but still, I
I have
mean,
a few. Definitely CMAC for sure. I think the other 2 that really come to mind, the first one would be when I opened for Charlie Daniels.
mm,
That was amazing.
mhm,
It was, one of my first big opening act opportunities, and it was a sold out crowd,
mhm.
record-breaking crowd, and I just remember I was so nervous, and I was like, "Oh my
Oh.
gosh, I'm opening for an icon. I better not screw this up."
Mhm.
And then I'd say the other time, I'm actually wearing the T-shirt, is, the first time I played at the
Oh, the
Bluebird Cafe.
Bluebird.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've gotten to play there, I think 3 times now, and it's every time I play there, it's just like, that place is magical, and every time I'm there, I'm like I did open mic there when I
Mhm.
went to Nashville on a vacation, and I just remember singing on that stage thinking, "Wow, someday if I could really perform here, not in an open mic, like at an actual show."
And you did.
It's just that place is just, like,
Wow.
And
incredible.
it's so hard to get in there as
It
a
is.
fan because there's such a small venue and you have to
Yes,
be right
yes.
on there to get the tickets. I mean, all the times I've tried, I've been in there once. I've been able to
Yes,
get
and I think
through
it's so
once.
funny when people go there the first time because they
Mhm.
think it's bigger than it is,
Uh,
and then they're like, "Wow, this is kinda tiny." I mean, it's really small, and people are always so shocked, especially when, they do it in the round when the
mhm.
Yep.
artists and the writers are in the middle of the floor. It's so funny every time people go in there the first time, they're like, is there another room? Like, is this it? And you're like, nope, this is the original Bluebird, still in its original form.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird how a place that small became so famous.
I know, right? It's so crazy. It's like, it's kind of like the heart of Nashville in a way. It's done so much.
And it's not even downtown.
It's not. It's actually a little out of the way. I used to live right down the street from it, actually. So all the time I would see who was playing at the Bluebird and be like, oh, Keith Urban's down the street. Oh, Martina McBride's down the street. And it was always like, man, I wish I could go see that. But yeah, it's like 10 minutes outside of downtown.
So, but
your music, when I listen to it, it's got a rock edge to it. And I think I saw in the video you were wailing on a guitar.
Yeah, I like to rock.
Yeah, I
get that from my dad.
Yeah, he's a rocker.
He is. I actually, if you guys go to my Facebook page, I just posted a picture of him like rocking on stage with me.
Oh
and
my
I was
God,
like, yep, that's where I get it from.
I love it. I love it. And I see the electric guitar behind you on the wall. So
yep, right there. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That is so cool. Now, so your dad, I mean, does he get to go to Nashville and play with you once in a while, or does he just kind of
once
stay
in a while?
Here?
Yeah, he does. He got to play on Broadway with me a couple times, which was a fun experience. And yeah, he's played a couple gigs down there with me. He doesn't get to come down that much because it is kind of a drive or a flight, so it's kind of hard to just get there. But yeah, we've done a few gigs down there. It's always so fun just to have him down there and get to play together.
Do you ever get nervous that Dad is on stage with you?
No, not at all. Actually, he's always been a part of my career. I guess he's always been, at shows, at video shoots and photo shoots and all that. So yeah, it's never really made me nervous.
He's a cool dad.
Yeah, he's a very cool dad. He's a rock star, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty awesome. I look forward to saying hello to him on Friday too. It's going to be such a good time.
Yeah.
Such a good time. If you could collaborate with anybody, who would that be?
Oh, that's such a hard question.
Would it be a rocker?
Honestly, it would probably be Dolly Parton. And I don't think I would be able to breathe while it was happening. I think I would pass out. But I know a lot of people that know her, and I've actually worked with a lot of people that have worked with her. And I just, from the stories I've heard and just what I know about her, and I just adore her. She's like my queen of everything. I just to see her in the studio, I want to do that so bad. Like the stories I've heard about her, and just I've seen like pictures of her in the studio from people I work with. And I remember one time it was one of the first times I was in a studio in Nashville, and I think he was our mandolin player, and he was talking about working with Dolly, and I was like, oh my gosh, so wide-eyed and just starstruck that the person that worked with Dolly was at my session, and I was like, am I supposed to be here? Like, am I in the right spot? But yeah, it would be Dolly. I love that woman so much.
Deb and I, we've asked that very same question to so many different artists, and almost all the females, all the women have said Dolly Parton.
She is just an icon. She is like an angel. I swear. I'm actually wearing Dolly Parton perfume right now. So
that is a good description for her as an angel, because you kind of feel like she's always, she does guide a lot of female artists,
She does for sure.
And she's so cool, so down to earth.
Oh, the coolest. Like everything she does, I'm just like, oh, it's Dolly. What did I expect? She's just
exactly. Have you, Alyssa, have you had the chance to play the Opry at all?
I have not. If I ever get to do that, I'm going to bawl my eyes out. That is for certain.
Soon. One word, soon.
Yes.
Oh,
with the music that you're putting out, I don't know why you haven't done it as of yet. So.
Oh, thank you. It's a frequent thing in my dreams. That's for sure. I dream about it all the time.
I bet you do. What's the best advice you've been given?
The best advice I have been given is to not be in a rush.
Okay.
Because I feel like this is kind of a everything thing again, but especially when you get to Nashville, it's so easy to feel like you have to succeed within a year or within 2 years, and you have to be ahead of everybody. You have to do something first. But what I have learned is that everything happens when it's supposed to. When something is meant for you, it's going to happen when you're ready. And just because you think you're ready doesn't mean you are ready. So there's things that I wanted to happen when I was younger that I'm so thankful did not happen. And there's things that I'm so thankful it took a long time to happen. For example, CMAC. I'm thankful it took, 10 years of me doing my thing in music to get on that stage, because it made it so much sweeter and I was just so much more ready for it. And just take your time, be true to you, don't be in a rush, don't like race other people. I guess it's not a race, it's not a competition. So
I'm so glad you
don't
said
rush.
that. Yeah. So glad you said that, because it's so true. Don't hurry.
Well, and you learn to appreciate every moment that you get to cross the path of, instead of it's almost like you're wishing something would happen and you're wishing your career away, you're wishing your life away. And who
I was
wants
just
that?
talking to someone about that.
Right?
It's like you're almost making it a negative thing by trying to be in such a rush and focusing on what you don't have. You got to focus on where you are, enjoy where you are, because this is, I always think about, back to little 15-year-old me. She would have been so excited about every part of this journey. So I just got to remember that. And once I really kind of accepted that, everything just became so much sweeter and just, better, I guess.
You got a great attitude. I love it.
Thank you.
I love the attitude. What, have you always just done music? Have you ever worked another job?
So I've worked some odd jobs on the side. For a really long time. I was a dance teacher for a bit.
Okay.
I've walked dogs. I've worked in audiobooks. I've sold coffee machines. I have my own demo business where I produce music for other artists. So I've done some other things here and there, but it's all just to, fund my music career and my life in Nashville. Absolutely. And I feel like everything I do doesn't last long because it's not music, and I can't do it. There's something about it. Like, I remember I was selling coffee machines, and the entire time I was there, I'd be like watching the clock and be like, when can I go back to finish this song? Or I'd be finishing songs in the back room, and I would say I was on a bathroom break, but I was actually recording a song in my phone. So yeah.
So what kind of coffee machines were you selling?
It was a company called Nespresso. Okay. So it's just like espresso and coffee machines. So I would work in like malls and stuff. And I only did that for maybe like a year, and then I was like, this
isn't for me. No, I'm more talented than this. Everybody's talented in their own way. Don't take that the wrong way, but you feel, no, I should be writing music. I should be doing
it. It was at the point that it was taking away from my music, and whenever something gets to that point, I know I need to break it off, figure something else out, because I still need to pay rent. That's an important thing. But what's really helped me is the return of live music. That's how I make most of my living. My demo business is a lot of my income too, so I really try to keep it music based.
Do you do any rock covers?
I do, actually.
Talk to us.
Yeah, so actually one of our a few of our most popular covers in our set is Heartbreaker by Pat Benatar.
Love it.
That is our when we're with the full band. I don't think we're gonna do it Friday because it's a full band thing, but we usually end our set with that, and there's a lot of head banging and some guitar strings break, some drumsticks break, because we just go all out. That's a really fun one. We do some Bon Jovi. That's also really fun. And we also do a pretty rockin' cover of Jolene by Dolly Parton.
Oh yeah.
Like the original version is very like acoustic and like very vibey. Our version is pretty rockin', and it's really fun. And yeah, I feel like we kind of add a rock touch to most stuff we do. So we definitely like to rock out. We love that, the electric guitars. I love electric guitars. I love drums. I love the bass, and I love to just feel it. And especially at a live show, I want you to like feel that kick drum. I want you to just want to rock out and jump up and down and have a good time.
How do you determine what you're going to play? I'm not sure how long your set is on Friday, probably 20, 25 minutes, maybe 40. I don't know. But how do you determine what you're going to play during that time frame?
So every show is different for me. Usually with something like Friday, I'll do almost all original stuff, and then I'll do a couple of my favorite covers. And it kind of depends on the show or the event. So if, say the artist is more on the rock side. We'll try to rock it up a little more, or say the artist is more traditional. I'll pull out some of my like acoustic stuff. You know, it kind of depends, like the venue. Like when I play the Bluebird, I really like to do like the really songwritery songs with the really juicy lyrics. But I mean, I always stay true to me. It's just, what do I put in the set list that is going to resonate with the crowd the best? You know what I mean? And sometimes we'll be in the middle of a show and I'll notice that the crowd is so receptive to ballads. So I'll be like, you know what? We're going to pull out all the ballads this time. We're going to do all of them, because every crowd is so different. Some want the up-tempo, the jumping songs. Some want the really in your feelings ballads. So I really like to read the crowd too. And I kind of, my band always jokes that I make set lists, but they're kind of just like guidelines. Like I'm gonna call out what we're gonna play. You know, we don't really follow a set list all the time. It's kind of like a list that I picked from based on how the audience is responding. So,
and the band is pretty receptive to you changing on the fly.
Yeah, they joke a lot of times that I'll start playing a song and they won't know what we're playing until I start singing the first few words, and they're like, "Oh, okay, we're playing this song now."
All right,
so
I keep
them on their toes.
I have a very important question I need to ask.
Okay.
How should I introduce you, Friday?
Oh, however you want to. As long as you say my name right, I'm good.
Well, we should be proud of the fact that she's from upstate New York. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you can say anything from, from Rochester, New York, living in Nashville.
Yeah.
I typically say to people like on my social media and stuff, I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, and multi-instrumentalist. That's kind of like my
That's everything though. We all say that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
I just wanted to see what you would say.
You can say I'm like a crazy cat lady if you want.
She's
you
a
can
crazy
say I
cat
drink
lady.
Too much tea if you want. I mean, whatever you want to say.
Now, why are you the crazy cat lady?
I have 2 cats.
So
I intend on having more someday. My apartment only allows 2, so I'm maxed out right now. But I'm a big cat person. I love cats. I love all animals, but my friends also say this is kind of embarrassing, but they say I'm very cat-like. I have like a cat personality because I'm very introverted and I'm kind of sassy with people. I'm kind of like iffy with people sometimes. I love to be warm and just like curl up in a ball, and I'm very cat-like. So
I love it. I love it.
They're easy too, because if you're traveling, you really don't have to worry about them for a while. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah, put the litter box
out. I have a security
out.
camera. I watch them. Yeah.
Yep.
I love my kitties. They're my babies.
And what are the names?
So their names, the first one is Beasley. She's named after The Office TV show, which is my favorite show of all time. And then the other one is Chip, and he is named after Chip Gaines from HGTV.
I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. I love that. So where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years or so? Where do you want to see yourself? It's pretty simple. I guess straightforward question. I think I know the answer, but
I have no idea. I just know I'm going to be doing music for the rest of my life. I try not to put any time limits or expectations on myself because I'm on my own journey. It's not going to look like anyone else's journey. And I'm just going to keep doing music, keep doing what I can, keep doing what I love, keep making sure that I'm doing things for me. I'm not doing something for, this person that's telling me I need to sound like this person or look like this person or whatever. I'm going to be making music in a way that's authentic to me, that fulfills me and makes me happy. And that's all I know.
Love it. I love it.
So just curious, if you never were signed with a label, would you be good with that?
Yeah, I would. Because you know what? In my mind, I've made it. Because I'm in Nashville. Yeah. I'm doing what I love full time.
And you can pay your bills.
I've gotten across so many things off my bucket list. And I'm here. I'm doing what I love. I can wake up and breathe and drink my coffee and just play songs. So in my mind, I've made it.
No, that's great. We've talked to a lot of artists that are not signed with labels, and they are so, they're on their own journey and they are loving life and they're playing in front of audiences, and that is their dream. And how they do it is just how, like you said, when the time is right for them, it just works out. So I was just curious.
And also I've had to accept and learn, which I have at this point, that being signed to a label or not does not determine my artistry. It doesn't determine the worth of my music. It's just a thing, it's just a thing in the business. So Yeah,
it's just another avenue of a paycheck.
Exactly.
That's all it is. So.
Yes, it would be a good paycheck, but
Yes.
I'm paying my bills, so I'm good.
That's right. There you go.
We have our labels, but nowadays when we have social media and all the different avenues to put our music up and listen to music and all that, I mean, it far exceeds the labels. And a good example of that is you, Alyssa, when your music's online, it's YouTube, got all that. When you're out there on stage, as I mentioned before, the fans are singing the lyrics back to you. I mean, that tells you something right there.
Right.
So,
and I think it's such an amazing time to be an artist
yeah.
because you can put music out yourself. You know,
Mhm.
I don't want to say we don't need labels anymore, but you can do it yourself now. You know, you can build your own career, you can build your own fan base and get your music out there, which I think is just amazing. Like the tools we have now that, you know, my dad always talks about, they didn't have these tools when he was in a band. And now we have these. I can put my music up on TikTok and it can go viral and end up on CMT. I never knew that could happen. So,
Right. I mean,
there you go.
From right where you're sitting. I mean, it's that easy. You don't have to go anywhere. It's just click, click, go.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It is nuts. Now we know you're very, very talented. You play all these instruments. You got a great voice. You got everything. You've got the whole package. But what is one of your useless talents? Something that you really suck at? Okay.
So I can't do anything with this talent, but I got this from my mom. I can do this.
What the hell?
Oh my goodness, that's so cool.
That's always my like weird hidden talent. I don't really know what to call it, but I can do this.
I know.
I think it's because like I play piano and my mom played some piano too, so it's like I don't know. It's just
your fingers are definitely flexible because that
I can't do anything with it, but I can do that.
How did the real quick, I know we're running out of time, but how did the pandemic, how did all that work for you? I mean, were you able to actually sit down and do a lot of writing, put a lot of songs in the bank?
It was actually a very important time for me because it was kind of the start of officially producing all my own music. So I'll do the short version. What happened is I was planning to release an album, to record an album, and I was in the middle of figuring it all out. It was, you know, February in Nashville, 2020. I'm figuring out the studio time, the songs, the musicians, all that. Pandemic hits. I had been promising an album to my fans for months, and I had this moment sitting in my studio that I was like, okay, either the album isn't going to happen or I finally need to take that leap and produce it myself. Because I was thinking about it for a long time, but I was never confident enough to do my own music. I would do other people's music, but then I would work with producers because I was just scared to do it on my own. So this kind of forced me to take that leap. And over the course of the pandemic, that whole summer, I locked myself in my studio because all my tour dates got canceled in one day. It was a very rough day. And I locked myself in my studio and I produced my own record with 13 songs on it. And it was a very important growing time for me as an artist, as a producer, as a writer. And I just got a lot more comfortable in the studio, you know, doing my own stuff. I look back on how much I grew in that process. And, you know, as terrible and stressful as it was, it made me grow so much in my career. And I don't want to say I'm thankful for the pandemic because it was such a dark time, but I'm thankful that I was able to grow and I was able to, you know, stay at home and do that. And it was a very important time for me. And it kind of snowballed, just producing, like I said, more for my own stuff, producing even more for others. I'm getting artists reaching out to me now asking if I'll produce them, which I never saw happening or like tried to make happen. It was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I could do that if you want me to.
And there's a whole other career path as well.
I know. It's like
industry.
This door opened that I never even knocked on, but I'll take it. I'll walk through it.
Did you learn Pro Tools on your own?
Yeah, so basically what happened is I started recording in studios at a really young age and I had a bad experience. And I'm a very sassy individual and a very independent individual. And even little like 15-year-old me, when I had this bad experience and I had this producer that was trying to steer me in a different direction, I looked at what he was doing on Pro Tools and I was like, that doesn't look that hard. Dad, can I buy Pro Tools and try it for myself? And we got a discount through his work and we got Pro Tools and I literally locked myself in this room in my childhood bedroom and I just went on YouTube and I said how to use Pro Tools. how to record on Pro Tools, how to record a song. And I just, I watched so many YouTube tutorials. I probably damaged my eyesight with how many videos I watched.
Too much computer time. I know.
I wear glasses and contacts, otherwise I'm blind as a bat. So that's probably what caused it. But I just looked up tutorials on how to do it, and I just did it. I just taught myself because I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. And that's what I did.
Well, you put your mind to it, whether it's learning how to play an instrument or using Pro Tools. I mean, and the best way to learn is to learn it yourself.
I agree. Yeah.
If you mess up, you learn from it. So
yeah, and you're so excited when you're learning it yourself. You know, it's just that rush. You just want to get it right.
Exactly. And you were talking about the pandemic, and I think we all have that. What you said was really accurate, because it was a very dark time, but it was a good time for us to do things differently and learn how to do things differently. And it was on a positive note. I mean, for example, Deb and I used to have the guest right here in our pod zone in the studio, but now we can do it like this, and everything is worked out for the better. I think. Yeah. You know, we're able to talk to you. You don't have to come to us. I mean, it's just the magic of the internet, the magic of the technology that we have nowadays, and we're embracing that technology. And if you don't, and whether you as an artist or me as a radio guy or Deb doing what she does, if we don't embrace the technology, we're not going to win. We're going to lose. So
and I dealt with that too, because I kind of had to learn how to live stream. I did a online tour. I called it. It was the Comfy Couch Tour, where I just played songs from my couch throughout the pandemic, which was really fun. But yeah, just learning how to utilize that technology. Like you said, it made everything for the better. And there was some brightness in a dark time.
It is. And social media, you're on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and all the good stuff, right?
All the things. Yep.
You do it all. And if somebody wants to get a hold of your music, I would imagine all the DSPs, digital service providers, and all that, they have your music. Yeah.
It should be everywhere. And if it's not somewhere, let me know, because that's a problem and I need to fix it.
And do you have a website?
I do. It's just alyssatrahan.com.
It's easy. Not Trahan. Trahan. You know, this has been pretty awesome. We cannot wait to see you in person on Friday. I want to come over and say hello, and I'm going to have some Skip Happens mugs for you to take home. And
that's so exciting. I love mugs. I have a collection of mugs.
Cool. Well, Deb and I will get you hooked up with all sorts of goodies when we see you on Friday.
Yay!
And, you know, we look forward to a great show. I mean, you said it's going to be rocking. You're opening for Jake Owen, and you said you knew one of the guys in the band, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them.
That's going to be very cool. We're excited to see you. Thank you. Thank you for coming on Skip Happens tonight.
Thank you for having me. This has been so awesome. And I can't wait to see you guys on Friday too.
Well, you'll see us. You'll hear us.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
And I'll introduce you as the crazy cat lady.
Okay. That's fine with me.
No, I don't know. It'll be good. It'll be fun. And I so look forward to it. We're going to have a great time. Alyssa Trahan, everybody, make sure you check her out. Alyssa Trahan music. No, alyssatrahan.com is the website. And of course, you know, look her up on YouTube. Wait till you see all the videos she has, including the one it's Promise, right?
Yeah.
Promise that dropped 2 weeks ago. It's really good. We played a little bit of it just a little while ago. Facebook's going to have a fit, but oh well. But that's it. Yeah, Alyssa Trahan, everybody. Alyssa, thank you for joining Deb and I here tonight. We're going to sign off, but stay right there.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Yeah.